Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to all of you here on the news tonight, where we get you the day's top stories within the next 30 minutes from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and let's start with the headlines. The BJP denies differences among allies even as the NDA fails to decide on seat sharing ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections. Government indicates the date for winter session could be advanced. Says it's ready to convene Parliament immediately after the Bihar elections to pass key reform bills. Meat ban row escalates. Shiv Sena and MNS defy Maharashtra government's order, while Rajasthan bans the meat sale for few days as well. Jammu and Kashmir High Court bans cow slaughter in the state. And doubles triumph for India at the US Open. Sania Mirza and partner Martina Hingis enter the women's doubles finals, while Liana Pace enters the mixed doubles finals, also with Martina Hingis. Our top focus this evening, NDA leaders continue to hold meetings to formulate a seat-sharing deal between allies for the Bihar Assembly elections. For the second day, former Chief Minister of the state, Jitan Ram Manjhi, met BJP leader Anant Kumar in Delhi amid hints of feud between him and the LJP president, Ramvilas Paswan. However, the BJP has assured there is no differences among the allies and a seat-sharing deal will be finalized soon.
The countdown has begun for the Bihar polls, and the NDA has stepped up its effort to finalize seat-sharing deals among the allies. Hectic talks continued in Delhi as HAM's chief Jitan Ram Manjhi met BJP leader Anant Kumar for the second day on Thursday. His tussle with LJP chief Ramvilas Paswan over Dalit leadership has put the alliance in a spot. RLSP chief and Union Minister Upendra Kushwaha also met Anant Kumar to discuss possible seat share agreement.
हम लोगों ने अपनी पार्टी राष्ट्रीय लोक समता पार्टी की ओर से एक पत्र लिखकर श्री अमित शाह जी से कहा है कि जो भी तय करना हो भारतीय जनता पार्टी तय करे। हम लोग बिल्कुल उनके निर्णय से सहमत होंगे, कहीं कोई कठिनाई नहीं होगी, लेकिन जल्दी तय हो जाए। निर्णय भारतीय जनता पार्टी को लेना चाहिए।
मेरे भाई उपेंद्र कुशवाहा जी ने अभी माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष भारतीय जनता पार्टी अमित शाह जी को एक पत्र लिख करके भारतीय जनता पार्टी ये टिकटों के वितरण के बारे में वो निर्णय करे, ऐसे जो उन्होंने प्रस्ताव रखा है ये बहुत सराहनीय है और इसका मैं स्वागत करता हूं।
According to sources, BJP wants a lion's share of seats, but allies, especially LJP and RLSP, have sought more seats for themselves. These two parties helped BJP sweep Bihar in the Lok Sabha polls last year. The three parties won 31 out of 40 seats. Jitan Ram Manjhi too wants a fair share as well, but BJP has so far been non-committal. NDA will be locked in a tight contest with the Janta Parivar alliance, who have already finalized seat-sharing deal and is upbeat to stop the BJP-led alliance from returning to power in Bihar.
180 हमारे गठबंधन को आएगा। आप कोई माने न माने, आज जो लोग मेहनत किए हैं अपना ठीक है बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन 180 आएगा। आज नरेंद्र मोदी को बिहार आईना दिखाएगा।
Bihar will go to polls in 5 phases spread over a month starting October 12th. The results will be declared on 8th of November. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, so for more on this story, we're joined by Sanjay Singh, who's the political editor at First Post, joining us in the studio this evening. Sanjay, you know, RSLP and LJP, of course, old players, they do contribute a lot as far as Bihar elections is concerned, and we do understand that sources, of course, saying that they are coming at a seat-sharing agreement. But this Jitan Ram Manjhi factor and his problems, of course, with Ramvilas Paswan, how do we see that playing out?
See, expectations of all three allies of BJP, Jitan Ram Manjhi, Upendra Kushwaha and Ramvilas Paswan, are naturally heightened. They have a feeling, they sense that NDA could come to power in Bihar, and therefore they want to extract maximum that they can. On the other hand, BJP wants to have maximum number of seats. they want to fight something around 160 seats and leave only 73 seats or 75 seats for their allies and distribute that amongst them. Congress, on the other hand, has got 40 seats in Mahagathbandhan alliance from RJD and JDU. Congress too does not have a presence, substantive presence at least in Bihar. And therefore, these alliance partners of NDA also have kind of their aspirations are also soaring. This has become a challenging task for the BJP leadership to tackle that. So far, the BJP leadership has been successful, at least in containing them not to air their grievances or whatever their feelings were, and the way negotiations are progressing in the public, and also authorizing Amit Shah as party president, BJP party president, to take a final call. We all know in politics, at times you say something else in public, and inside a room where negotiations are going on, hard bargaining is going on. Don't forget, Tracy, this is not just about number of seats, but also about which seat, which constituent would fight.
That's right.
And there also they have a very serious kind of debate, discussion, contention, arguments, counter arguments. That also a very critical area. They have to reach to a conclusion very soon, because election notification are going to be announced next week in 6 days' time exactly. And thereafter they have another 5-6 days to file nominations. The parties have to decide their candidates accordingly, not just in number of seats as to who is going to fight where. Then they also have the challenge of containing their rebels. That is also a very important factor. And therefore the kind of brainstorming that is going on, hectic parleys that are taking place, that all are to contain whatever that particular rebellion, dissension, discontent are.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, they are, of course, going to be learning from the JDU, RJD Congress mistakes, if you could call them mistakes or so, because you see the NCP, you see the Samajwadi Party now perhaps, you know, forming its own little stand. You've seen the left, of course, not supporting Nitish as well. You know, so the BJP, of course, will try and make sure that all the allies, of course, stay within. But apart from that, Sanjay, do you also see a bigger problem compared to what we saw in Delhi about Chief Minister's post?
No, I don't see that as a problem, because Mahagathbandhan, I don't know, to best of their wisdom, they kind of projected Narendra Modi as their principal rival. If Mahagathbandhan, Nitish Kumar had tried and asked this question to the public, to the BJP, and put this as a poser, I think that could have been a potent campaign point for the Mahagathbandhan, for Nitish Kumar at least. But since they have chosen to project this fight between Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar, but then I think to advantage of BJP, when they talk about Mahagathbandhan leadership thing, they also put Lalu Yadav together on the pedestal with Nitish Kumar, and there lay the catch. In fact, Lalu Yadav has a substantive social support base, but at the same time, because of his 15 years of Lalu Rabri regime and his persona, Lalu Yadav also puts a substantive
quite a big of a weight, a
voters.
burden, really. Yeah. All right, we'll have to leave it there, Sanjay Singh. But thanks so much for joining us. This is definitely one story we'll keep an eye out on every day, some new developments. And this is going to be our prime focus, of course, here on Rajya Sabha TV. On to other news now, and the government has hinted that the forthcoming winter session of Parliament could be preponed to pass key reform measures. This comes a day after the cabinet decided to prorogue the monsoon session, ruling out a special session for the GST Amendment Bill. On Thursday, both the ruling BJP and key opposition party Congress traded charges over who is responsible for stalling the crucial tax reform.
On Wednesday, the cabinet decided to prorogue the monsoon session, ruling out a special session of Parliament to move the GST Amendment Bill in the upper house. A day later, BJP and Congress stepped up the rhetoric over the bill, blaming each other for scuttling it. Addressing the World Hindi Conference in Bhopal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi targeted the key opposition party, accusing it of obstructing the bill during the monsoon session.
एक के बाद एक संसद में जो निर्णय हुए हैं और उसमें भी काले धन के खिलाफ जो कठोर कानून बनाया है, उसके कारण जो हवालाबाज है, और इसलिए ये हवालाबाजों की जमात लोकतंत्र में रुकावटें पैदा करने का प्रयास कर रही है.
Modi's jibes came 2 days after Congress President Sonia Gandhi's remark on the performance of the government. Congress blamed the ruling party for not doing enough to end the deadlock during the monsoon session.
The blame of the deadlock or logjam in Parliament lies squarely with the Prime Minister and with the BJP government. And I would also like to remind the Prime Minister and his ministers that they should reflect and think twice before they accuse the opposition of disruption.
To make for the lost time during the previous session, the government hinted at a preponed winter session and keep ample time to push key legislations.
The need of the hour is to bury the past and look to future of country. We must work together more than numbers in Parliament. Broader understanding on national priorities is very important.
In the last 2 days of the monsoon session, the government tried to move the GST amendment bill twice but failed in the face of consistent pressure from the opposition. However, the government still hopes to meet its April 2016 deadline to roll out the new tax regime. Bureau Report, Sabha TV.
After Mumbai, the ban on the sale of meat has been imposed in Rajasthan for the next 3 days during the Jain festival of Paryushan. But in Mumbai, mutton traders have approached the High Court against the order, with parties like the Shiv Sena and the MNS promising to defy the Maharashtra government's order. Meanwhile, the Jammu and Kashmir High Court has ordered the state government to strictly enforce a beef ban in the state.
Mumbai's meat ban spilled onto the streets on Thursday, taking a political colour. Defying an order passed by the BMC, both Shiv Sena and MNS opened roadside stalls to sell meat. The Mumbai Municipal Corporation had banned the sale of meat for 4 days on the 10th, 13th, 17th and 18th of September. This was done in the wake of the Jain festival Paryushan. After Mumbai, Rajasthan also announced a ban on the sale of meat and fish for 3 days of the Jain festival.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने कोई भी ऐसा निर्णय नहीं किया है और जहां तक शिवसेना के नेताओं का बयान का प्रश्न है, मैं उनको इतना ही कहूंगा कि वो निर्णय ले सकते हैं, उनका हम स्वागत करेंगे।
ये जो बैन लगाने की बात है तो ये आज़ादी के जो है विरुद्ध है। ये तो जितनी चीज़ों पर आप पाबंदी लगाएंगे, प्रतिबंध लगाएंगे, तो वो जो उसकी भावना है संविधान की जो आज़ादी और स्वतंत्रता लोगों की, तो उससे जो है वो खत्म होती है, वो भावना पे चोट पहुंचती है।
पर्युषण पर्व का मतलब ही सीधा सीधा यही है कि अहिंसा परमो धर्म के सिद्धांत पे जैन समाज चलता है और किसी प्रकार की जो अहिंसा है उसको रोके। तो मैं समझता हूँ इशू बनाने का कोई विषय नहीं है। ये ऐसे काम है जिसको सोसाइटी अलाउ नहीं करती।
The J&K High Court also ordered a ban on sale of beef across the state after hearing a PIL. The court said it hurts the religious sentiments of a section of society.
It's a debate which is in process in the whole of country whether the food habits of the people should be codified by the state or not. People know what the eating sensitivities are. So I think these things should be left to the people.
The BJP, which rules both Maharashtra and Rajasthan, has said that the decision was taken by the civic bodies and the state government has no role to play in it. The Bombay High Court will take up the plea of mutton traders on Friday. They have approached the court saying the ban on the sale of meat discriminates against their right to a livelihood. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Director General level talks between the chiefs of the Border Security Force and Pakistan Rangers began in the national capital today. The biannual meet was over a year. The last meeting happened in December 2013. The Director General of the BSF, D.K. Pathak, and Chief of the Pakistan Rangers, Major General Umar Farouz Burki, led their respective delegations for the 3-day talks. While there are 23 delegates from the Indian side, 15 delegates have arrived from across the border. Now, the meet gained significance amid rising tension along the line of control. The two sides raised the issue of frequent ceasefire violations. There will also be discussion on different levels of communication, more simultaneous coordinated patrolling, and other confidence-building measures. The concluding session and signing of the joint record of discussions will be done on Saturday. And for more updates from across the country, let's take you nationwide. Even as the water levels in 10 out of 21 districts has receded in Assam, the death toll in the floods has reached 48, with the death of one more person in Barapeta. Over 5 lakh people have been affected by the floods, with nearly 38,000 people taking shelter in 118 relief camps. SEBI has asked 10 entities linked to the Satyam scam main accused B. Ramalinga Raju to disgorge over 1,800 crore rupees worth of illegal gains made by them. They will also have to pay close to 1,500 crores as interest. The penalty has been levied with effect from the day the Satyam Computers founder admitted to a long-running fraud at the company. 3 students of the Film and Television Institute of India at Pune have started an indefinite hunger strike demanding the removal of Gajendra Chauhan as chairman. The strike marks 3 months of a protest with no concrete solution yet. The National Investigation Agency has announced 7 lakh rupee reward on SS Kaplang, who's the chief of the NSC&K Naga militant group, and a 10 lakh rupee reward on Niki Sumi, the outfit's military commander. The reward has been announced in connection with the killing of 18 army men by the outfit in June in Manipur. The announcement comes even as the government recently signed the Naga Peace Accord in its effort to bring together disparate Naga groups. The Supreme Court has set aside the Delhi High Court order permitting the recall and re-examination of 13 witnesses, including the victim, in the Uber rape case. The High Court had allowed the recall of witnesses on the plea of the accused, Shiv Kumar Yadav. The Apex Court also raised questions on Yadav's move to seek a recall of the witnesses, saying that the resulting delay in trial was causing harassment to the victim. Up next, international news, and as migrants flock Europe, Denmark shuts its border with Germany, while Hungary calls in army to check the influx.
Parliament prorogued. Hopes dashed of a special session to pass the GST Bill. Is bitter politics making Parliament dysfunctional? Watch the big picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight, and now it's another terrible day for the markets today. Benchmark Sensex extended its losing streak of last week to end the day at the lowest level in 14 months. It closed at 25,622, losing over 97 points. The Nifty too settled below 7,800, down by 30 points. The rupee also weakened by 27 paise to settle at 66 rupees 82 paise a dollar. Well, markets in Asia, of course, were mostly lower as economic data from Japan and China made investors cautious. Worries also about the Chinese slowdown and the impact of a US interest rate hike also dented investor confidence. But China is displaying immense confidence and optimism in the face of an economic slowdown. Speaking to global investors at the Summer Davos Forum, Premier Li Keqiang said that his country will never advocate a currency war. He also promised a bright future for the economy, calling for international cooperation in these difficult times.
Chinese Premier Li Keqiang sought to allay fears of global business leaders at the Summer Davos. Keqiang assured them that the Chinese economy that has caused fluctuations in global markets the last few weeks is running within a proper range. He said though it is growing at a slow rate, it is characterized by resistance and self-recovery.
走势是缓中趋稳，稳中向好。 但稳中有难，总体上机遇大于挑战，正是大众的。
Li pointed out that even under the current circumstance, China achieved 7% growth in the first half of 2015, which is no easy task. China's contribution was 30% of the world economic growth. Li also said structural reforms being brought about target long-term stability and sound development.
不论他们成功与否，可以说他们是在扮演着新领军者的角色。
China is still struggling to stabilize the yuan after its surprise devaluation, but denied it being for a currency war.
中国 绝不主张打货币仗。我们讲国际产能合作，难免有竞争，但是如果我们合作起来，
The Premier stressed that it has become increasingly urgent for all countries to work together to get the global economy back on track. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the migrant crisis continues to roil Europe. The refugees pushed further northward on Thursday, with Denmark closing its border with Germany under the strain of the influx. Hungary, on the other hand, is taking the help of its military to guard its borders. Here's a report.
Despite its plans to redistribute refugees across the continent on Wednesday, the European Union is struggling for a common response to the growing migrant crisis. On Thursday, the issue escalated tension in Denmark and Hungary. In Denmark, a major ferry crossing from Germany was partly closed after hundreds of migrants refused to disembark on arrival, insisting to be taken northwards to Sweden. Scuffles between police and refugees on Wednesday had led to a motorway and rail links with Germany being closed. Meanwhile, Hungary announced plans to send its army to guard its southern borders, where thousands of migrants are arriving from Serbia every day. A new razor wire barrier is already under construction along the frontier.
In Syria, Iraq and beyond, we are doing everything possible to save lives. We need political will and we need funds. All those with influence must rise above their narrow interest and work for the greater good of the region and our world.
Despite the appeal for unity, European nations continue with their individual responses. While Germany and Sweden have generous policies for refugees, nations like Hungary, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland and Romania are opposing mandatory quotas. Meanwhile, the Greek island of Lesbos, Hungary-Serbia border, Hungarian-Austrian border and Macedonia's border with Greece remain in focus of the crisis.
Und ich denke, dieses Modellprojekt zusammen mit der Bundesagentur für Arbeit und dem BAMF steht stellvertretend für das, was wir in den nächsten Monaten erreichen wollen, dass möglichst viele mit der Entscheidung für einen genehmigten Aufenthaltsstatus dann auch gleich.
Interior ministers of European nations, meanwhile, are preparing for a crucial meeting on Monday to agree on mandatory quotas. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now for more international news updates, let's get you Global Buzz. Widespread flooding and landslides in northeast Japan has forced over 90,000 people to abandon their homes. Several areas are on high alert as heavy rains and flooding continued for the second day after Typhoon Etao struck the region. Helicopter rescue teams plucked people from rooftops. Japanese authorities said that the final tally of the damage will take some time to be completed. The Islamic State is demanding the ransom for the release of a Chinese and a Norwegian hostage. The extremist group posted their photos advertising them for sale in the latest issue of its online magazine, The Peak. The US and NATO have expressed concern over reports that Russia is increasing military presence in Syria. NATO chief Stoltenberg joined other Western leaders in calling for a political rather than military solution to the four-year-old civil war. And now let's get you all the action from the US Open, where world number 2 in the men's singles, Roger Federer, who is yet to drop a set, and Stan Wawrinka have set up an all-Swiss semi-final. Meanwhile, in the women's singles, second-seeded Simona Halep and Italian Flavia Pennetta have also advanced to the semis. It was also a big day for Indians, with both Sania Mirza and Liana Pace winning their respective doubles matches, partnering Martina Hingis to reach the finals.
World number 2 Roger Federer was in sublime form, beating Frenchman Gasquet 6-3, 6-3, 6-1.
Playing Isner in the previous round, massive serves come down, so it was, I don't know, I just felt like I had extra time, you know, because I played Isner before and that helped me a lot on the return, and then my serve worked very well at a very high first serve percentage. I was able to stay aggressive and enjoy myself out there, so it was a great match.
Federer won without facing a single break point. He next meets French Open winner Stan Wawrinka in an all-Swiss semi-final. Wawrinka produced a dominant display to shrug off South African Kevin Anderson 6-4, 6-4, 6-0. In the women's draw, second seed Simona Halep moved closer to her first Grand Slam singles title after edging Victoria Azarenka 6-3, 4-6, 6-4 in a rain-interrupted match. The Romanian will play 26th seed Flavia Pennetta in the semi-finals after the Italian came from a set down to beat two-time Wimbledon champion Petra Kvitova 4-6, 6-4, 6-2. With compatriot Roberta Vinci already in the last 8, it will be the first time in the Open era that two Italian women have made it to the last 4 of the same Grand Slam.
I'm really happy. I mean, I didn't think to get through this match, I have to say. I mean, in the second set, I was really in trouble, but I was just keep going, playing, and I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's looking a little lopsided. There have been
women's doubles top seed Sania Mirza and a Swiss partner Martina Hingis cruised into the finals after beating Italian duo Sara Errani and Flavia Pennetta 6-4, 6-1. Hingis then paired with Leander Paes in the mixed doubles to beat second seeds Rohan Bopanna and Yuan Zhan Chan 6-2, 7-5. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you some more sports news in Sports Beat. Saina Nehwal's campaign ended in the Japan Open badminton tournament after she lost to unseeded Japanese Minatsu Mitani 21-13, 21-16 in just 40 minutes in the second round. The 185th ranked Mitani proved to be the better player despite playing a tight 3-game match against PV Sindhu on Wednesday. London Olympics quarter-finalist Parupalli Kashyap is the only Indian left now in the fray in the Japan Open. In a men's singles second-round match, unseeded Kashyap created an upset, defeating third-seeded K. Srikanth 21-11, 21-19 to enter the last 8. Kashyap defeated Srikanth in a contest that lasted 45 minutes. ISL team Atletico de Kolkata co-owner Sourav Ganguly has confirmed that not only Brazilian great Pele but England superstar Wayne Rooney will also be visiting India this year. The former cricket captain said that Rooney will visit India during the second edition of the franchisee-based tournament that kicks off in Chennai on the 3rd of October. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. From the entire team here, good night.